guys, as you can see behind me, the cabins are here and the fire pits here. Just done a walk around, checking the cabins and making sure that everything's still all good after the massive amounts of rain that we've had, and just making sure that everything's all still good because we are predicted to get a lot more rain this coming weekend. So this morning we had our fence inspection to get a CAE registered here on the property. And what I wanted to do is go into a little bit about the fences in South Africa. A lot of you guys who are wanting to book want to come out and hunt in South Africa, and we have got half fence game farms. They're places what they call open farms or free range farms that we can hunt on. So I just wanted to dive into a little bit of that and kind of explain to the guys who are wanting to book to hunt in South Africa what to expect. So if you approach an outfitter and they tell you that they've got multiple concessions to hunt on, a lot of the time outfitters like myself do not have the adequate private ground, like our own personal private ground, to hunt the number of clients that we are trying to book in a year to make a livelihood. So we make connections with other landowners for hunting rights, and I'm sure some of you guys in the States do that as well. So a lot of our concession areas will either be game farmed areas that we can go and hunt, or hunting stock farms, which will be low fenced areas. And the thing that people kind of get muddled up, or people sell to clients to come and hunt free. We do free range hunting, open farm hunting, so on and so forth. And the guys book and they get you and they get disappointed because they see a fence. Hunting in South Africa, a open farm or a free ranged area is a stock farm. It'll be a cattle farm, a sheep farm, a goat farm, but the property has low fences around it. The perimeter fences are 1.4 meters high, and there will be internal fences for the stock, for the rotational grazing. That is what the guys call open and free range hunting in South Africa. And those farms, you can either hunt them through the hunting season, which is stipulated by the government every year, which is normally end of May. It's May, June, and July, or June, July, August. It does vary. They do change it from time and time. And in those months, they will stipulate quota of what you can hunt per day, what species you can hunt in June, July, and what you can hunt in June, July, and August. So like kudu season is June, July, August, but the first 2 months of the season is normally kudu bulls only, and then at the end of the season it's opened up to cows, depending on what the government has received throughout the previous hunting season, on what animals were hunted to have their quota. It's just a way of controlling what species to hunt and what not to overshoot, and so on and so forth. So that is a low fenced area. But guys, you can also get a low fenced area that you can hunt throughout the season, or throughout the year, I should say, not season. So you can hunt where farmers have joined in a community and created what a hunting conservancy. So there'll be 3 farmers or more that have joined up their properties. They have not put up a half fence, but they put in a proposal to the nature conservation and will stipulate what game counts they've got, and they will get a quota for every season. And then you can hunt kudu throughout the year on an open farm, but it must have a conservancy number. It must be a registered conservancy. And then the third way of doing an open farm, like myself, what we are going to be doing now, is that we are registering a low fenced area CAE for 1.4. So I can introduce plains game, buffalo, and so on and so forth on my stock ranch. It's not necessary to have half fences. There are certain species that we need half fences for, but I'll dive into that a little bit now. So with the low fence CAE, it's mostly plains game that you're allowed to introduce. it's they'll have there's a list of species, guys. I'll try and pop it up on here for you guys to show you what species are listed in a 1.4 and what species are listed in a 2.4 game fence, for example. So the animals that they allow you to put into a 1.4 are animals, predominantly animals that don't jump. It doesn't mean they can't jump a fence and they can't get out. It just means they're not jumpers. So buffalo don't jump fences, but they can jump fences or scrum through them. Your rhinos are the same thing. They just walk through a fence. You need electrification, but the fence doesn't have to be higher than 1.4. All your wildebeest and your gemsbuck, your oryx species, don't necessarily jump fences. So they allow you to introduce them in a 1.4 fence. But for example, what they've got on their 2.4 list, eland, big jumpers, they jump high fences, they can jump the 2.4 fences. Your kudu can jump 2.4 fences. Your waterbuck, they've even got nyala on that list. And impala is a great jumper. They can jump out of those big fences. Those are the animals that you are only allowed to introduce onto your property if you have a 2.4 meter fence around the perimeter to get a CAE to hunt them throughout the year. So from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. So that is just something that when you chat to the outfitter who you're going to book with, ask the questions of what type of property are you going to be hunting on. Like with my company, myself, I've got a mix of properties. Guys, we also got to stick with the laws and legislations of the areas. So we cannot hunt throughout the year on our stock ranch, but once I've got my CAE, I can hunt the plains game that I've introduced and certain species that I'm looking after now because of that low fenced area, and that I'll be able to hunt throughout the year. But we've also got loads of species in South Africa that you can hunt throughout the year regardless, like warthog, bush pig, impala, springbuck, blessbuck. If those are all on cattle ranches and open, what we call an open farm, you can hunt that throughout the season. You don't need to, hunt them in a CAE enclosed area. So the game fenced areas, guys, are there for guys who are obviously in the hunting industry, and they've set up and they've introduced species. The law states if they want to introduce waterbuck onto their property and there's no waterbuck in the area or whatever, they can fence off their farm and introduce those species and turn their stock farm into a productive or into a game ranch where we're trying to reintroduce species that used to be here before cattle farming and trying to get them back in again now, where farmers have decided that game has become very lucrative and it's become a very, very good business to be in, that they are fencing off the areas and introducing game species, some game species. Even some farmers have gone as far as taking their stock ranch, and you'll notice it when you come and hunt, that there are farmers that have stock ranches that are full running stock ranches with a high fence, and there is hunting game or game species that have been introduced for hunting and so on and so forth in those areas, because throughout the season they'll be hunting clients and making money with the hunting, and when there is downtime they still have a productive farm running stock. So it's become a very big business throughout South Africa. And then there are these farms that are questionable to hunt. So I'm going to put it here, as everyone knows, they are the game breeders of the industry. Game breeding farms will have a 2.4 meter fence around the outside, and it's a game farm. But you will notice it as soon as you drive in on the property. As soon as you go into those front gates and your PH starts taking you around and you start hunting different camped areas. Why? Because they separate the color variants in the game, as in your blessbuck color variants, your springbuck color variants, your impala color variants, and they will split them to try and breed up those big gene pools. and you'll hunt in that camp for springbuck and that camp for blessbuck. It's not a hunting ranch anymore. It's a game breeding facility where guys have realized that the game has got value, and they are breeding their game breeders, and they sell these animals at auctions. It'll either be live auctions, or it'll be, you know, catalog auctions. And these are the farms. They are game breeding farms. They are not hunting farms, guys, but guys do hunt them. And that's now where the fence thing comes into light, and people start going, oh, I don't want to hunt a fenced area. That place definitely is not a place to be hunting, because all of a sudden you toss your fair chase out of the window, which means that those animals can't get away from you in that enclosed area. They can't get out to breed with the other animals, because they've been separated via color. So those are not cool places to get into to go and hunt your South African experience. But if you go and hunt on a game ranch in South Africa where it's fenced the perimeter and there are no internal fences, or it's got stock fences where animals can move throughout, that is still fair chase hunting, guys. And we have to use areas like that in the hunting industry to hunt with you guys, because we cannot jam pack everyone in the 3-month hunting season. You guys that are wanting to come out, that we've got guys that come from Europe that are trying to get away from the really, really cold winters there, and they're coming to enjoy, the summers here. They hunted early in the season and stuff like that. They won't be able to hunt open farms or hunt for their kudu because the season hadn't started yet. So hunting game farms will be the areas that they will hunt in. So always be mindful of asking your outfitter that you want to book with, what is the terrain you're hunting in, what are the areas, what are fences. Try and get an outfitter who's honest. If you tell him you want a kudu, he's going to tell you, okay, best time to come out is April, May, June, and July. You know what I mean? The best time to hunt kudu. But that's also because it is the season. Our season starts and it's the beginning of the rut. So you'll be using game farms, and you'll have the availability of hunting open ranches too. So it gives you a broader area to hunt. But if you're going to come out and want to hunt a kudu before that, you will be hunting just on game farms. If you want to come and hunt a kudu after August, you are going to be hunting just in game farms. So keep that in mind. This is the hunting industry that we're in, and this is South Africa. People invest in the game. They also aren't going to be throwing animals onto their properties and allowing them to go and live and breed up on the neighboring properties when they've invested in them. So that's also a reason why the fences are there. But the properties are big, guys. Small properties, high fence properties, are about 1,000 acres in South Africa. But those are genuinely guys that have got a small area where they want their little piece of Africa. They've added a few animals in there, and it's a weekend getaway. They're not really there for hunting. So you can think of, if you're going to be hunting, you're going to be hunting in areas, probably your small areas, 2,000 acres and up. So just keep that in mind when you come hunt in SA. Ask all the questions. And if you want more questions answered, drop me a comment below, and I will try my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. But if I do, if I can't answer it, I will go find out from the nature conservation and try and give you the guys the most honest answer regarding fences and hunting areas and so on. So don't shy away about coming to hunt in South Africa because they're fenced areas. Guys, our fenced areas are huge. It's still fair chase. The game gets away, but you got to be careful of ending up in properties where they are game breeders, because they will hunt you in small areas, and those guys are normally out there to make a quick buck, just to get you to shoot a list of animals every day for their personal benefit. So if you are a true avid hunter, hit me up, chat to your outfitters. There are loads of guys out there like myself who still hunt ethically and will hunt you in the best possible areas for you to get the best quality trophies. So that also, keeping this point in mind, most outfitters, to get the best quality trophies, will drive you from one concession to the other to hunt the best kudu, the best bushbuck, the best thing, what they have available to them. So bear in mind, you will do a little bit of driving unless you are booking with one of the really big companies out there that have got huge spaces of ground that they hunt on. But also, they will travel you to hunt certain species in certain areas, because with those big areas, they still have to manage quota. And if they are booking over 100 clients a year, they cannot shoot everyone's quota or everyone's species list out of their property. They have to branch out and hunt the neighboring properties. So be prepared to do a little bit of driving. It is still one of the best ways to get to see the country, to get to see the beautiful Eastern Cape, and see what South Africa has to offer. We can take you from the thick coastal bush on the Indian Ocean right up into semi-desert in the Karoo, and take you up into the Winterberg mountain range and get you up above 7,000 feet above sea level, and you will see a drastic change in the ecosystem. We have got one of the most diverse and most beautiful provinces throughout South Africa. So if you're keen on booking your next safari with us, hit us up in the messages, find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a message. You can get in contact with us via our website as well, and I'll put all those in the description below that you can contact us. So till later, guys. Enjoy.